Welcome to Getting to the Truth in This Art. I am your host, Rob Lee, and we're recording live on location. I'm here at MAP Technologies.
Yeah, M.A.P. Technologies.
M.A.P. Technologies.
Technologies, either or.
And I am here with, you're co-owner, right? Or owner?
I am owner. Yeah.
Owner.
Yeah,
Full owner.
Full owner. Yeah, full idiot.
I'm here with Michael Peace. Welcome.
Hey, thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Oh,
yeah.
totally. Absolutely. Yeah. So let's get into it.
Okay.
So I want to give that quick background and you fill in where I might be missing, right?
Okay.
So MAP Technologies is a local computer repair store that has blossomed into a community center and burgeoning esports hub in downtown Baltimore.
You are correct. You hit the nail on the head. Couldn't said it better than myself.
I said it like I was a pitch man, right?
Yeah, you did. And I like that. Yeah. I had to hire you, man. You got it.
I do ads. So for you, let's step back. Like I gave that kind of like that intro for your biz, but let's get those vital stats on you and kind of how you guys started and why we're here today ultimately.
Yep. So I've always been very much a tech guy. Very much a gamer, but of course in my later years, because I'm old, I haven't had as much time and my reflexes don't allow me to be as gracious in gaming as I used to be. But I absolutely still like just being around it. It's, just what I love. I love being, around tech. I like the tech stuff. I like my PCs. I like, so on and so forth. And I'm just fortunate enough that I started this gaming lounge thing. Of course, when I was younger, there was the arcades, and when online gaming came out, it kind of killed arcades because people just didn't see a need to go to an arcade to play games when you could just play everything in the house. So started out on Bel Air Road, very small, just the fixing and selling of electronics. I was there for about 9 or so years or so ago, but that was just kind of like playing in the shallow end of the pool. I just, knew I wanted this little electronics store, and it was small, and it served its purpose. Probably overstayed my welcome there more than, longer than I should have. I probably stayed there longer than what I should have because I got not pretty big, but, I was in this little small space, and I knew I wanted to do more. So I was fortunate enough to get an opportunity to move into the downtown area at 229 Park Avenue. So that's when I was like, okay, I have this space. Let me do this gaming lounge thing. So I, run out, I get these TVs. I'm still doing the fixing, selling, the repairing of the electronics, and now I have this gaming lounge. So Park Avenue, for those who weren't there, it was a 3-story building. Each floor was about 1,100 square feet. So on the first floor, I had maybe like 8 or so televisions on the, up on the wall and sporadically throughout the space. And the way it works, you can come in and you could buy stuff, or you could play the games that were in there. Yeah. And the second floor was just a big empty room that I somehow, some way, just came an event space. Yeah. It was just nothing that I never planned it for, but it just became that. Like I started doing like PC classes there, just basic introduction to PCs, and then it blossomed into this, and then people were like, hey, can I come in and use this? Then I come in and use that, and then it just became the event space room. So, the first floor was the electronic space, the second floor was the event space, and then the third floor I rented out to different photographers. So I had multiple people just up there. So that was kind of the blueprint for where I'm at now. And of course, through trial and error, seeing what worked, what didn't work, like I didn't anticipate the gaming monitor thing. So when I put the televisions up on the wall, I just say, hey, let me just throw these TVs up, and this would be it. So of course I started to facilitate these gaming tournaments, and these guys were like, hey, these TVs are cool, but they're not cool. If you want to get these guys in here, you got to get gaming monitors. But I didn't think of gaming monitors when I initially opened up the space. So now is the shoehorning. So I'm getting gaming monitors, and I'm kind of like putting them up, but the space doesn't have enough space for it. I'm just like, So somehow, some way, I was like, you know what, it's just time for me to go, for multiple reasons. I outgrew the space. I didn't fit in the block that I was in. There was a music studio 2 spaces up. Yeah. There was E-Villa 2 spots down. And then here I am, this like gaming lounge, electronics, in this one little like block of downtown. Very secluded block. You kind of had to like know where it is to know where it is. And I said, you know what, it's time for me to go. And I actually got out of there right in nick of time because the owner auctioned the block, and the new owner is giving the people that are currently there a hard time. So GG's on that one. So, yeah, I found 322 West Baltimore Street, where I am now. And, of course, taking notes from what I did with Park Avenue, I tried to put everything that I did right there and what I did wrong there and make it a complete space. And I like to believe I have the initial idea of, well, not the initial idea, the final idea for what I want in this space. Because now the space, I have enough space to do everything that I want to do, and still have space to add a little bit more. And it's conducive to the community, like having people to come in and do different things in this one space. And explaining it to people, like out when I'm out, and I'm like, hey, I have this electronic shop, gaming lounge, event space, and people are like, what kind of drugs are you doing? But then when they come see it, they're like, oh, this works.
Yeah, I'll say, like, when I got the tour, the virtual tour initially, and the real life tour today, it lends itself to being multiple things. It has the event component where I could see someone in a very small DIY sort of way doing performance, whether it be stand-up, whether it be music, whatever. I can see people just doing gaming tournaments. You have that set up there. And then in the front of it, you obviously you have the, hey, we sell stuff, we fix stuff.
Right.
And I think having that kind of hybrid setup is important. So this is not the same, but it's similar in structure. It reminds me of what JBGB's is doing.
Okay.
They're a butcher shop that's also a restaurant. So you can go there and get exactly what you need.
Right.
And they actually make really good burgers.
Okay.
So you can come here, get what you need fixed, but then, if you want to get in the tournament and do a little, get your ass whipped, you can do that. You can take
Feel
that,
free.
You can take that out. So tell me about what is most important to you in business, right? So, but under this setup, so would it be the mission, your vision, or those values? How are those things aligned for you?
The mission and the value. I really enjoy people coming in and the wow factor. Kids come in, adults come in, people just come in and are just wow. And then people coming in having the experience and are equally as wow. Like, man, I came in here, I listened to some music, I played some video games, and I had a very good time. I'm going to tell, because I know word of mouth is valued better than, like, getting a flyer is cool, but your friend coming to you like, man, I went down this spot, they had Tekken. After I played Tekken, we played Pac-Man. I played Atari, and then I got up and played a Xbox Series X all in one space, and I got my computer fixed. And people are like, what?
So speak on, like, how important it is to be in that kind of tribe. Like, I have there's a blog out there. I'll send it to you.
Okay.
Where I had a very interesting kind of pop culture nerd gaming weekend, and I want to say it was maybe the end of Game of Thrones. I think at the same time I was maybe at AwesomeCon.
Okay.
And it was one other thing all within the same weekend.
Right.
And I was just like, yo, fanboys. I was like, you guys bug me. It's one part. It's like, I'm fan adjacent. It's like, I like all of these things,
right,
but I like them.
Right.
And not opposed to, I feel like I know more than the people that make them. So tell me about that, like being in that spot of I saw the Funko Pops up there, I saw the games,
right,
and you talked about Spider-Man a little bit before,
right,
and people like don't want to enjoy, they don't want to accept the win that this is being made, this is accessible, you can buy this now.
Right.
Tell me about that. Like, what are your takes on like that fandom and being in a place that's selling that and selling part of it? It's
alluring. So for an example, the Pops. I didn't understand the allure of some of these Pops, and those Pops are actually a friend of mine. Shout out to John Williams, who's also on the staff here. So those Pops are John. So John's like, hey man, I have these Pops. I've been collecting them. Let's get rid of them. So John was gracious enough to, put up his, collection of Pops, and he was like, we'll work it out. And I've seen them, but I don't know too much about them. And a guy walks in, this literally It's 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Guy walks in, a nice guy. See him coming all the time. You know, we talk, computer talk. He's like, these pops, how much are they? And I don't put prices on them because I know it fluctuates. So he was like, hey, I want this Daniel LaRusso one. I say, no problem. I open it up. I look at it. I look at the price. I say, man, it can't be right. It can't be right. So I look at another spot. Thing was $100 and like $20. I was like, man, I don't know. This is $120. He was like, yeah, I know. Like, yeah, I know. I know. So, seeing that type of, so when you don't know, like to you that pop just may be a toy, and you're like, why are you paying $120 for this? But him, he's like, yeah, I know it's $120. Yeah. Do you take cash or credit? So
I got Bitcoin.
Yeah, right. So to me, of course, when you kind of get into your debates, the fanboys can be, like this, I'm Sony. I don't care what you say. I don't care if the Xbox can kill my mother of cancer, even though she got, that kind of get annoying. Like, no, it can kill cancer. He's just like, I don't, but seeing the other side of it, the allure of it, like this guy knows, like, even though I may not see the value in this pop, because it's not what I'm into, he knows it. He knows this thing is $120. Yeah. I'm paying $120 for it.
I had that vibe, I think, at the first Baltimore Comic Con I went to.
Okay.
And I was seeing adult men, big dudes, just in there marking out over like
a Thanos toy, something.
Like, not even that crazy, like Hello Kitty, like just.
Agreed. Yes, you're correct. Yeah.
Just like bugging out, and I'm like, and they just immediately put a smile on my face, and I was like, I can be free here. And that's what I think this place ultimately does. And, for those who ain't seeing this yet, because, this is an audio medium, you're a black dude. So having that, same as me. So having that thing where you can put down the armor, right?
Right.
The Ta-Nehisi Coates armor.
Yeah.
And actually engage in your fandom.
You can. So one thing, this is one thing that made me smile. So I had a gentleman that was coming in and doing the Madden 2K tournaments. Because, I don't know too much about sports, but he does, and he has a base following him. Shout out to Kurt. So Kurt will come in and do the 2K and Madden tournament. So one time he comes in, he does his Madden tournament. Bam, it's taking up most of the day, and for the most part, it's clearing out. But a couple of the guys are still, playing Madden. No problem. Because they paid their venue for the whole day, and this guy playing Madden is, I'm going to use a little bit of stereotype. It's just stereotypical, hood guy. He has jeans on and kind of sagging down a little bit, white T-shirt. He even has a blunt in his ear.
As he should.
Playing Madden. He ain't bothering nobody, and I ain't got no problem with that. So now that the tournament is left over, it's regular people coming in. And this kid, again, I see him all the time, walks in dressed like Itachi. All the time. Every time I see him, he's dressed like one of the Akatsuki. No ifs, ands, or buts. The band, the coat, the everything. He walks in and he pays his venue and he picks up the joystick and he starts playing Madden with this other guy.
Yeah.
There is no other time that these guys will have any other interaction.
Yeah.
I'm talking about no other time. They're from completely two different worlds. These two guys sat and had a good time for 2 hours playing Madden.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is why I do it. These two guys would never talk to each other. There's no reason for them to talk. But that's that common denominator they have with each other.
And I like that. Like, we got to really embrace that there are nerds of all shapes, colors, whatever. And one piece of comedy or meme that I enjoy is when someone pulls out the do-rag technology quotes about the Osborns and Spider-Man. It's like, those waves are pretty crisp. They are spinning wave check. So I see that you started your company, started MAP Technologies over 20 years ago with your brother.
I did.
So tell me about some of the games you played as a kid and who's better at the games?
Oh, me, absolutely. My brother is probably more of the tech side than video game side. Yeah. My brother hardly plays any video games, so, it was just the thing that kind of came together. He went away to the Army, and when he came back, he brought our first computer. And I remember, just getting acclimated to the computer. The internet was still a new thing. America Online, for those who don't remember what that is, you had to
just hear static.
Yeah, just hear static. You could not use the phone while you were on the internet. Yeah, that was a thing.
We're close to the same age. I remember this.
Yeah, like remember it. So that, and I remember, I guess I could talk about this now because PlayStation 1 is gone. So we had a friend that modded our PlayStation. This is literally how we all got into all of this.
Yeah.
Modded our PlayStation. And he would burn out games for us. And after a while, my brother was just like, well, I'm just going to cut the middleman out, and I am going to just get a burner and start burning our own games.
Yeah.
So then we were burning our own games. So now, for me as a younger kid, like I got the whole PlayStation library at my disposal. You can't tell me, you couldn't tell me shit. Now,
Yeah. You good? You good?
All right. So, because I got everything. So now my friends are coming over and seeing, like, he got a spindle, because you had to burn CDs, a spindle full of games. So now they were like, well, we want that.
Yeah.
So what we would do was we would get him to mod the PlayStations, and now we would burn the games for our friends.
Uh-huh.
And then that literally became a feasible thing. Like, we were looking like, this makes money.
This sounds like the black equivalent, the Baltimore equivalent of that episode of The Games That Made Us. Where they were modding out the old cabs. It's
Yeah.
like, this is now Miss Pac-Man.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yep.
no, that's not that game.
And that's literally how it began. Like, we, started doing like custom cases. We could take off, the case and doing like, by that time the PlayStation 2 came out, Swap Magic, we put custom cases. So what we did was we got a table at Patapsco Flea Market. That's how we initially started.
Yeah.
So we were down Patapsco Flea Market. Then we moved from Patapsco Flea Market, and I was married at one point in time, like a dumbass. And my father-in-law was a mason, and one of his mason friends let us use a portion of his store on Monument Street. So he was like, "This is your corner."
Yeah.
And I remember, like, this is cool. Like, we're in a store.
It's a virgin placement.
Yeah, like our first place, and the guy was very nice. He didn't charge us hardly anything, very minimal, just just to help us out. And then from there, we got the Bel Air Road thing, and it just started from there. So yes, I've been in this far too long for me not to be rich.
So with that, so the first console was that PS1?
That we started fooling around with, yes, yeah.
Got it. So you already answered this question, but I'll throw it back out there because I think it can be further expressed. From your vantage point, what's the most interesting trait of the kind of blurred gaming, geek, computer culture in Baltimore?
The people. The people is what make it. The people is what make it who it is. And I've met a lot of I'm not saying this to be derogatory, eclectic people.
No, I think
just meeting the people, just meet people coming in, and again seeing that excitement and them like coming in. Like I'll meet a guy that just looks regular guy like yourself, and then like right behind him I'll meet,
like when did Circus Clown get here?
I'll meet Naruto. Yeah, and then I'll meet a business person, and then I'll meet, just seeing the all walks of life, and just people just coming in and just enjoying themselves, and the people.
One of the things that could be a really cool social experiment is someone sitting in and just observing for like an hour, like a shift, like just being there, like on a game, what have you. And I say this because I was here for probably about half an hour, what have you, and I saw a few people come in and they were different dudes.
They were.
And that reminded me of back in the day, when I used to hang out in sex shops, and I sat there a shift with one of my friends and just seeing
the different walks of life.
I was like, there are a lot of trench coats that came in here.
Yeah. You'll see a shirt and tie. You'll see a regular guy. Just seeing the walks of life, and you just be almost surprised, like, huh.
Yeah, and it gives you an idea of like how pervasive is not the word, but how prevalent, I suppose.
Yes,
it is in various walks of life. It's like, anything that you might on the surface have as a differentiator, like a difference with this person. No. You're united under whatever your thing is, whatever your tribe is.
Some sort of commonality. Yeah.
So that's a segue. That brings me to this question: What is the biggest barrier to you in terms of building a community, and in that, how do you address it? What measures are you putting in place to try to address that?
Getting people down here. Baltimore we're coming off of COVID.
Yes.
So people are still kind of somewhat skeptical coming out. I'm in a new space, so I've moved, and just getting people to come in here and get the experience. Because again, explaining it sounds weird. Explaining it, a gaming lounge, electronic shop, and an event space, but when you get in here, you're like, So just getting people to come in. So I could not think of a better space to be in Baltimore, for one, of the size, and two, of the locations. And I see, when I open up, especially during the day, the double backs. I see somebody walk past and they...
Yeah, because I was looking for it and I was like, when I looked at the address at 322 West Baltimore, I was walking and I was like, nah, I can't be over here. And it's in a very interesting, it's very advantageous spot. It's on a main street. Mm-hmm. And for those who want to engage, there is a 7-Eleven right there. So you're lined up. And there are also, I've noticed snacks in here, I've noticed beverages in here. Mm-hmm. So it's in a spot where you can attract various people, and it's off of a train line as well. It's a light rail.
Line, yep. And it's right across the street from the Baltimore Arena.
Absolutely.
The Hippodrome is across the other street.
And the ballpark is down here.
Ballpark is right down here.
Both of them, the football,
Football down here. So again, and a very good space, but just getting...
And a convention center, too,
and
is
a
over here.
convention center, yeah. I know it's going to sound crazy, but once, I get you in here, I got you, bitch. Just come on in. Just come in, because I think I have something for everybody. So I was telling someone earlier, because a parent sometimes will come in to bring their kid, and the kid wants to play Fortnite, but the parent doesn't play Fortnite, and the parent will walk past that arcade machine, Pac-Man. I know Pac-Man.
Yo, I'm gonna put my quarter right there.
So now they're in Pac-Man, Super Mario Brothers. I know Super Mario Brothers. So that commonality. So now the kid is playing Fortnite because the parent doesn't want to play. But now and then sometimes they'll go in the back and I'll literally have that Nintendo. Well, I can play a Nintendo. There's 2 buttons on this Nintendo. I can play that. So just getting people in here to see the space, especially with all this stuff that I have coming up now that I'm coming to an end with, most of the repairs and getting everything up. We have a few music events coming up. So there's an event that I do called Lo-Fi Video Game Night. I initially started at Park Avenue, and when I initially started it, it was called Friday Night Lights. Mm-hmm. There's a genre of music called lo-fi. I'm pretty. If you play video games, you know what lo-fi is. This is for people who don't know. So lo-fi, no vapor. So lo-fi is just like a type of jazz, hip hop, cool, mellow. Mm-hmm. So what I would do is I would put the lo-fi hip hop on, put the the lights down, put the RGB lights, and just setting the mood. Yeah. First time I did it, I'm promoting it. Every Friday, I usually have my usual, so I'm not counting them. So they're coming in every Friday. Usually Fridays are fighting game guys, so they come in and play their fighting games. And then for that event, the first time I did it, Friday Night Lights, which is now Lo-Fi Video Game Night, same thing, just different names. I think I had 2 people come out to it. One person came out for it, another person walked past, seen the lights, thought it was cool. Yeah. So me at the time, I'm just like, you know what, it ain't working. Yeah. My buddy was like, just stop being a dummy and you got to stick with it. Just stick with it. I say, all right. So so I was doing it, I think every other Friday or maybe once a month, because it's once a month now. I'm not sure how often I was doing it, but I was doing it, pretty often enough. So I'm doing it. Started to pick up a little bit. Yeah. So then I changed the name from Friday Night Lights to Lo-Fi Video Game Night. So it's going pretty good. One night, this is at Park Avenue. My brother's in the shop already, so I come in, I kind of set the lights up. I said, hey man, I'll be back. I got to make some runs, get the sodas and stuff like that. I'll be back, no problem. So when I come back, there's 6 or 7 people standing out front. I just don't like people loitering out front. Just go inside. Unless you're smoking a cigarette. I said, but people just literally stand outside just looking dumb. I said, what are they doing? Just go inside. It's cold out here. So when I get up, I get out the car, bring the stuff in, and I speak to the people hey, how y'all doing? But when I go inside, I see it's packed. It's packed.
Wow.
It's packed on the first floor. So I come in, I'm dropping my stuff. And my brother's they're standing outside because there's no more room left in the building. The second floor is packed, the third floor is packed. So my Lo-Fi Video Game Night was packed out. And I was just like, wow, this is cool. I never would have thought something like that would have just hit it off like that. And now that I have this space, we're just stepping it up a little bit because at the old shop, everything was broken up. So the second floor, we had, there was lo-fi playing on the first floor, but I had live music on the second floor. Mm-hmm. So if you were gaming, you couldn't really see it. But now that I have this space and everything is just one big floor, now we're about to start having live music. We have lo-fi video artists coming in and doing live events. So now you can play the game, look at the stage, or look at the television because everything just streams the same and everything just kind of flows, congruently. So, yeah, that's just some of the stuff that, we have coming, that we have, and we're just, bringing to Baltimore, stuff like that.
Well, you've been on a podcast before because you've actually answered all of the main questions that I have. So, with that being said, I'm going to get into my rapid fire questions.
All right, here we go. Shoot away.
So, the way these rapid fire questions work is I'm going to ask you a question, and the answer is the answer. You don't have to add too much context to it unless you really want to.
Okay.
All right, first question. What is your favorite game of all time?
Chrono Trigger.
Okay. Corniest joke about your last name?
Always keeping the peace, huh?
I was going to say, peace be with you.
I don't, yeah. You keeping the peace, huh? No, then I firebomb you.
No, you always want to do the thing from, what is it, A Jungle Fever? Peace, 2 fingers. What's a game you spent the most money on?
Probably MMOs. I'm a big MMO guy, so probably World of Warcraft.
What's more important, action or story?
Story.
Lastly, and I know you said that your reflexes ain't what they used to be, but what games are what games are you currently playing?
Final Fantasy 14 MMO.
Okay. Well, that's it that I have. You knocked those out. You didn't hem and haw on them. So with it, I want to invite you, and thank you for being on this podcast, by
Absolutely.
the way.
Thank you for inviting me. Absolutely. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, my palatial studio here. But I want to invite you to shamelessly plug. Tell the fine folks where to check you out on social media, website, all of that.
322 West Baltimore Street is the physical address for the shop. Like I said before, we fix, sell, repair, trade in all electronics. Even if it's broken, you'll get something for it. Bring it on in. We'll take care of you. We are Baltimore's premier, we might be the only, but I'm going to say premier gaming lounge. People always coming in, I guess they're like scared to ask me, please open up another gaming lounge. Don't be I'm not that person. I'll tell you everything to do. Open up another one. So yes, we have a gaming lounge. We have every system just about from I'm going to say just about, because somebody's going to come in and be like, you don't have we have just about every video game system. We literally have thousands of games in here, from Atari to the newest systems, PC stuff. We do tournaments. You can catch us on all social media at MAP Game Tech is our handle on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and MAP Technologies on YouTube. So yeah, check us out. We're always streaming. Catch the tournaments out. Come down, kick some ass, get your ass kicked, and some of these tournaments that we're doing. So yeah, if you have any questions or comments, give us a holler.
Well, there you have it, folks. So I want to wrap this up. So for Michael Peace of MAP Technologies, I am Rob Lee, saying that there is business, art, gaming in and around your city. You just got to look for it.